Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. In the world of professional boxing, dream matchups come along only once in a generation. Ali versus Frazier, Leonard versus Duran, Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Now, the potential showdown between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terence Bud Crawford is threatening to join the pantheon of boxing's most legendary duels. Though the weight disparity and differing career trajectories initially made such a bout seem improbable, the prospect has gained increasing traction due to Crawford's rising stock and Canelo's continued dominance. But who would actually win in a bout between these two modern greats? This article dives into every angle of the potential matchup, the fighters' records, styles, strengths, weaknesses, and the tactical dynamics that could define this super fight. The tale of the tape. Attribute: Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford. Age 34 as of 2025, 37 as of 2025. Height 5'8", reach 70.5 inches. Record 61-2-2, 39 KOs, 40-0, 31 KOs. Stance: orthodox switch hitter. Division super middleweight, 168 pounds. Welterweight light middleweight, 147 to 154 pounds. Notable wins: GGG, Jacobs, Plant, Smith, Kovalev, Spence Jr., Porter, Brook, Horn. Canelo Alvarez, the Mexican maestro. Canelo Alvarez has spent the last decade sculpting his legacy as one of the most accomplished fighters of the modern era. A champion in 4 weight classes, from light middleweight to light heavyweight, his resume reads like a who's who of boxing's elite. With heavy hands, ironclad defense, elite counterpunching, and relentless bodywork, Canelo is as complete a fighter as they come. However, the recent years have revealed slight chinks in his armor. His loss to Dmitry Bivol at light heavyweight showed that elite movement and size could give him trouble. Despite that setback, Canelo has rebounded with strong performances and remains the undisputed super middleweight champion. Strengths: devastating power, especially to the body. High ring IQ and elite defensive movement. Incredible experience against top-tier opponents. Chin tested and proven over multiple divisions. Weaknesses: foot speed can be a liability against mobile opponents. Occasionally lacks urgency in the middle rounds. Has shown struggles against fighters with good lateral movement and volume punching. Terence Bud Crawford, the unsolvable puzzle. Terence Crawford is, without question, one of the most talented fighters of his generation. A former undisputed junior welterweight champion and current undisputed welterweight king, Crawford's dominance has come in frighteningly efficient fashion. He is perhaps boxing's most cerebral fighter, capable of switching stances, adjusting mid-fight, and delivering clinical destruction. His 2023 demolition of Errol Spence Jr. elevated him into the conversation as arguably the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Crawford didn't just beat Spence, he made it look easy, and the boxing world took notice. Strengths: elite adaptability and ring IQ. Can fight orthodox or southpaw with equal comfort. Precise punching and laser-sharp counters. Psychological mastery. He breaks fighters mentally. Weaknesses: has never fought above 154 pounds. Unproven against a true 168-pound elite. Potential vulnerability to bodywork at higher weight classes. Could be physically overpowered by naturally bigger fighters. Weight, the elephant in the ring. The most contentious issue in a potential Canelo versus Crawford bout is weight. Canelo currently reigns at 168 pounds. Crawford, even after his Spence victory, has not fought above 154. Jumping 2 weight classes is a monumental challenge, even for a fighter as gifted as Bud. Canelo has fought and defeated light heavyweights. He is used to absorbing shots from bigger men and punishing them with bone-crushing body punches. Crawford, for all his skill, will need to carry extra weight effectively, without sacrificing his speed and stamina. There's also the matter of punch resistance. If Canelo lands a flush hook to Crawford's ribs or temple, will Bud absorb it the way bigger men like GGG or Jacobs have? Conversely, can Crawford hurt Canelo with the same authority he did welterweights? The tactical chess match. 1 early rounds, calculated patience. Both men are known for their patience early in fights. Canelo typically takes a few rounds to gauge distance and rhythm, while Crawford downloads his opponent's habits. Expect a slow-paced technical battle in the early goings with minimal risk from either side. 2 middle rounds, control and adjustment. Canelo will likely look to cut off the ring and invest in the body. He will test Crawford's ability to absorb punishment and negate his movement. Crawford will aim to frustrate Canelo with slick counters, angles, and switch-hitting tactics. The middle rounds could prove pivotal. If Bud begins landing consistently while avoiding damage, the tide could shift. But if Canelo traps him repeatedly, Crawford may wilt under pressure. 3 championship rounds, grit and gas tank. Crawford is notorious for his late-fight dominance. He often closes the show with ruthlessness. But can he maintain that pace against a bigger man over 12 rounds? Canelo, known for fading slightly in high-pace fights, will need to manage his energy carefully. If the fight goes to the later rounds with scores close, Crawford's late surge could prove decisive. Intangibles, the will to win. Both fighters are elite technicians, but their mentality may be what separates them. Crawford fights with a chip on his shoulder. He's always felt underappreciated and seeks to dominate as a message. Canelo, proud and fiercely competitive, thrives under pressure and always seeks legacy-defining challenges. Crawford's hunger and underdog mentality could drive him to greatness, but Canelo's pride and power have vanquished many top contenders. Will Bud's brain beat Canelo's brawn, or will the Mexican star prove too strong for the smaller man? Prediction: who wins and why? If the fight takes place at 168 pounds, the edge leans toward Canelo Alvarez. The size, experience, and power advantage may prove too much for even a fighter as elite as Crawford. While Bud's skill set is arguably more versatile, physics and history often favor the natural bigger man. Canelo could wear Crawford down with body shots and eventually break him in the later rounds. Canelo Alvarez by late-round TKO or unanimous decision, 116 to 112 or wider. However, if the bout is contested at a catchweight around 160 to 164 pounds, the fight becomes far more even. At that weight, Crawford may retain enough speed and movement to outbox Canelo for stretches. In that scenario, a Crawford decision win becomes very plausible, especially if he can make Canelo miss and score with surgical counters. Still, the burden of proof lies with Crawford to prove he can deal with the physicality at super middleweight. Legacy implications for Canelo. Defeating Crawford would further cement his place as one of the greatest Mexican fighters of all time and a 4-division champion with wins over generational talents. For Crawford, moving up multiple weight classes and beating a bigger champion would be historic, comparable to Sugar Ray Leonard defeating Marvin Hagler or Pacquiao's conquest of the welterweight and junior middleweight divisions. It would potentially enshrine him as one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters in boxing history. Conclusion: Canelo versus Crawford is not just a fantasy fight, it's a generational clash between boxing's cerebral master and its consummate warrior. The bout would be a technical masterpiece, a physical puzzle, and an emotional war rolled into one. Whether it ever happens remains uncertain, but if it does, fans can expect nothing short of a modern classic.